We have completed multiple sections, and I think we are at a logical conclusion now, or we are at a logical break. And I would recommend you to start with the exercise. After every chapter or after every logical conclusion, I'll give you questions that you'll have to solve. Obviously, all of these would be Databricks related questions or essentially hands-on assignments. The data set that we have been using so far, that was the finance data set, but the data set for the exercise would be different, and you'll be implementing a Customer360 project. All the CRM and ERP applications have Customer360. So we'll be implementing one of them, and we'll build upon this exercise after every chapter I finish. So you'll have to implement the concepts of the chapter using the exercises at the end of each chapter. But to implement, obviously, you need to know the business use case. You need to know what applications we are trying to implement. So let's try to understand the CRM and ERP applications which Customer360 is a part of. So what is the CRM and ERP applications? The full form of CRM is Customer Relationship Management, and ERP is Enterprise Resource Planning. You must have heard about applications or tools like Salesforce, Microsoft Dynamics 365, SAP, Zoho, etc. All these provide CRM and ERP applications. Mid-size and big organizations use these applications to manage their customers and manage their internal resources. First, let's look at CRM, what CRM is. And it is needed by all mid-size and large businesses. And the purpose of CRM applications or CRM tools is to manage the customers that they already have, retain the customers, and also onboard new customers. So that is the purpose of CRM application. To create or onboard new customers, we need to convert the prospects to leads. And once the leads are converted, it would increase the sales volume and revenue, which would drive growth for the organization. And CRM applications and CRM tools helps in managing all these. The biggest use case of CRM application is to support sales, pre-sales, and marketing teams. Marketing teams also involve advertisement and any other marketing events that you can think of. And after marketing, obviously the sales cycle starts. And once the sales cycle starts, then comes the pre-sales and post-sales. CRM helps in all those stages of a business. The main entities of any CRM application are accounts, opportunities, and contacts. So these are the three main entities that are used in all the CRM applications. Accounts are nothing but the existing customers or the customers that have been converted or a new customer. The opportunities are the projects inside of those accounts, and contacts are the customer contacts. Then comes the ERP application. So the ERP application is intended for the organization itself to manage the internal resources, to manage operations within the organization, perform cost optimization, etc. It also helps in supply chain, finance, operations, inventory management, asset management, and employee management. Why do we need the supply chain, finance, operations, etc.? Because imagine we have an application, or imagine we have a business, or maybe you have a cloud business wherein we provide cloud services to end customers. Now, to create cloud data centers, we need a lot of resources. Resources like servers, it can be networking cables, it can be electricity, etc. To handle or manage the end-to-end life cycle of those resources, we need supply chain to handle the logistics. We need to have the finance operations also to manage and check how finances are going, and so on. So the ERP applications or the ERP tools helps in those. ERP tools also helps improve efficiency, which can be used to reduce operational cost. These are very high-level introduction to CRM and ERP applications. Of course, we are not trying to be experts in these CRM and ERP applications. What we want to do is that we want to build a Customer360 applications which are part of both CRM and ERP. And all the applications or all the tools that I have shown here, like Salesforce, Microsoft Dynamics, etc., all of them have two parts. the CRM part, which is the customer relationship management, which is used to onboard new customers, which is used to manage and retain existing customers, and the ERP part, which is used to manage internal resources. There are a few terms that we need to know. One is the B2B, the other one is B2C. B2B means business to business, and B2C means business to customer. There's a huge difference between the two. If I talk about B2B or business to business, it means that I'm selling my products, or the organization is selling its products to another business. So the organization itself is running a business and the products are being sold to another business. That's what B2B is. Then you have B2C, which is business to customer, in which case the business sells directly to the customer. Let's say you are going to a retail shop, maybe an electronic shop, to buy a watch or a laptop, etc. So you go and see the laptop, you see the watch, you choose it and then buy it and make the payment there. So that's what B2C is. For B2B, one business sells its products to another business and the other business eventually sells their products to customer. Then another term is licensing, which is used to buy licenses for a product or a feature. Now let's look at the CRM and ERP entities, which are pretty important for Customer 360 application. The first entity is leads. The purpose of leads is to capture the unqualified sale prospects before they are converted to an account, contact, and opportunity. So what is these leads? Let's say you are starting a business and you want to onboard some customers. So let's say you have a product and you want to sell the product to customers. You have done some market research and you have found out that there are some prospective customers who would be willing to buy the product that you are planning to sell. So all those customers are known as leads. So you'll be storing the customer information so that you can go to them or call them or email them or whatever to sell your product. Now all these prospective customers are stored in the leads table. Then you have accounts table, which is used to store the businesses, the organizations, or the customers which have been converted. Let's say one or more customers have bought your product or bought our product. Those customers would be converted into accounts. From leads, those will be converted into accounts. And the entity as in table, will store the organizations, the B2B clients or B2B customers, or B2C customers, vendors, partners, etc. So all of these would be accounts. Then you have contacts, and contacts would be there for both prospective customers and the converted customers. Let's say there's a customer which has not been converted, who has not bought your product. Still will keep the contact because you might want to call that customer again in later time to see whether the intention has changed or not. Any which ways, the contacts will contain information or contact of individual people which are associated with accounts or direct consumers, either B2B or B2C. Now, cases entity is a post-sale entity. This is not for sales or pre-sales. It is used to track the customer services and post-sale support. Then you have opportunities, which are essentially the projects that you're planning to implement for an account or for a customer. Now, all the sales deals or all the projects, I'm talking in terms of IT. So all the projects that you're planning to implement would come in the opportunities entity. Then you have partners, which are third-party vendors or independent resellers or managed service providers who help us implement the project. Let's say I have a product and I have sold the product, but to implement the product and its features, I need people to work with the customer. And let's say I do not have resources available with me. So what I do is that I outsource that work to a partner, and the partner will help me to implement the product or implement the features or implement the service. Obviously, the partner will get some amount of commission from the product, and the partner will also get business value from the customers directly. Then there is partner commissions, which is used to track the commission that we pay to the partners or the third-party service providers. Partner commissions is not color coded because we'll not be using this in our exercise. The color coded entities are the ones that we'll be using in our exercises. There are a lot of other entities also, like sales orders, which hold the transactional contract of what the customer is buying or implementing. It does not necessarily mean that it has to be a product. It can be services also. It can be both products and services. It can be cloud services also. The sales order lines is a subset of sales orders which will contain line by line breakdown or line items of the products or the services in a particular sales order. Products is another entity which is used to store all the products and services that an organization provides or that an organization offers. So as I said, let's say 3IM has a cloud service, or let's say we build a cloud service for our customers and customer buys those services. Let's take example of Azure or AWS. Now Azure has a lot of cloud services, so does AWS. Like the database services, data analytics services, Azure has Fabric, then there is Databricks, AWS has RDS, Aurora, DynamoDB, Redshift, so on and so forth. So all these are products and all these information will be stored in the products entity. Then you have inventories, which are used to store the stock level for warehouse. Now, when we talk about inventory, mostly retail shops would come into mind because let's say there's a grocery store and the store wants to keep their stock ready so that it can sell it to the customers. The same thing is true for cloud service providers also, or IT services also. For cloud service providers, the inventory would be the number of servers, networking wires, physical storage, hard disks, etc. For IT service providers or for service providers, it would be the resources, the certifications that those resources have done, etc. Purchase orders is used to track the procurement that a business does to level up the inventories. So it would contain the payment or cash that has been sent to vendors to build up the hardware inventory blocks. Then you have vendors. Vendors entity is used to store the manufacturing partners or raw material providers from which the inventories are stocked up or piled up. Invoices, essentially the bill that is sent to the customers. The vendors would send invoice to the business. Let's say the hardware vendors would send invoices to AWS or Azure, and AWS and Azure will send invoices to their customers, like you and me or big organization. Finally, general ledger accounts entity, which is used to store all the transactions that have happened in the CRM and ERP applications. So these are the entities that we'll be using in our exercise. When I say entities, these are all tables. So we'll be using all these tables to build up our entire exercise, starting from the ingestion and loading of data. Obviously, once we go to the next chapter, there would be exercise that you'll have to do based on these entities only.